All right, so today's treatment table talk, which is what we named my short series of videos, is coming from a yoga mat for two reasons. One, it's really important to know treatment can happen in a lot of different places. So the yoga mat might be just as important as my treatment table some days. And two, it's because my treatment table is in my car and I don't want to go out to get it because I'm lazy. So that's basically the moral of that story. But anyway, I want to address, I got a couple of questions this week from different patients, and I figured it might be a fun thing to talk about is why did I become a physical therapist? Originally, when I went to go to school, I enrolled in an undergraduate degree in computer science and computer engineering. And I have always had a really big interest in technology and computers. It's still a hobby that I have to this day. But then in my senior year in high school, I was doing martial arts, and I actually went to kick somebody in the martial art, and it's a martial art where it's mostly grappling oriented. And the movement they were doing was to catch my foot and twist, and I was supposed to basically jump over my own leg and land on my side to make sure they didn't, break my foot. Well, when I landed from that, I went to get up, and I realized I couldn't straighten my knee anymore. And at the time, I'm a high schooler, and nobody there has any medical training. And I'm walking around like this because I literally can't straighten my knee anymore. So my dad, who did martial arts with me for a very long time, took me to the emergency room, and my mom met us there. And what they ended up doing was they injected my knee with a numbing agent, lidocaine, and they went and they straightened it into an immobilizer. Which was not the most pleasant thing in the world. So I'm driving home, and we're in my dad's truck. I've got my leg propped up on the back of his truck, and the road to my house is really bumpy. So we go over this bump, and all of a sudden I get this real sharp jolt of pain in my knee. And it was so painful. And then I realized, oh, my knee doesn't hurt anymore. I take it out of the immobilizer, and all of a sudden I can bend it and straighten it again, which was just the weirdest thing. So it took us a couple days to get an appointment at our local orthopedic surgeon's office. His name was Dr. Carls, and I think he's probably still practicing in my hometown of Cumberland, Maryland. He told me probably what happened was I tore my meniscus, which is a piece of cartilage in the knee, and the fold in between my knee basically flipped over and got stuck. And because it got stuck, I couldn't straighten my knee out. Well, what had ended up happening is it got stuck again. Dr. Carls ended up having to go in and do a surgery where they repaired the meniscus. So they put basically sutures in it to make sure it didn't keep flapping over and to hopefully let it heal. Long story short, I was in an immobilizer for a while, a couple weeks, and I couldn't bend my knee. So I was walking around straight-legged, and I lost a ton of muscle in that 6 to 8 weeks that I was in the immobilizer. So I ended up going to physical therapy in Cumberland, Maryland again at a place called Rehab First. I was with a therapist named Brett, and I really liked Brett. I ended up volunteering with him later. As a volunteer to his clinic, and I did physical therapy, and I had this realization, I don't think I'm suited to sit in an office all day. I am so interested in movement. I was doing martial arts, and I thought it'd be really nice to be able to help people with movement again. I actually kind of thought, this job seems pretty easy. I was wrong about that. It's definitely not an easy job, and it's not something that is super easy to help people with, but it is very enjoyable, and it's so nice to be able to interact with people. I think if I was a computer programmer, I'd probably go a little stir crazy. I'd probably be the person at the office who didn't let anybody else get anything done because I'd go around talking to them. So after I had my own physical therapy, I switched my major in college the next year from computer science to athletic training. And I loved being an athletic training student. I really never had an intention of practicing as an athletic trainer. I wanted it as an undergraduate degree to help go into physical therapy school, but I'm really glad I did it, and I would have, I think, been also very happy being an athletic trainer. They're very similar roles. I still, to this day, am a happily licensed athletic trainer, and I still use a lot of the skills that I learned there. And then from there, I went to physical therapy school, and it was all because I had my own interest in physical therapy.